Alright, so today I'm going to be going over the most reliable path to become wealthy. This advice completely changed my life when I first started looking into it, and I think the main reason that it isn't being talked about much on YouTube is simply because it's very straightforward and it's hard to make a lot of content out of it. So although money gets talked about a lot in the self-improvement niche, I still think it's really underrated and it should be actually one of the steps that you aim to achieve first, right? Financial independence, financial freedom, financial education is the first thing that I think everybody should be doing, because if you think about it, having proper finances will allow you to improve the rest of your life faster and more effectively. Do you want to get a gym membership? Do you want to eat higher quality food? Do you want to take trips and have more life experiences? Do you want to do the same for your family? All those things require money and they require time, but you can actually use your money to free up your time in order to get this stuff done. So what I'm going to be going over today is more so a guide on how you can save and invest your money so that it can compound and keep growing as sort of a safety net for you to allow you to do the things that I mentioned before. But I think that your long-term goal on how to actually generate your income has to have three things. It's got to be something you're passionate about. Better yet, you're actually obsessed about this so that it keeps you going, when times are tough. And it's something that you genuinely would pursue even if you had no money attached to it. The second thing is it's something that you're naturally great at. And then the third thing is that it has demand behind it where you can solve problems for other people that leading to you getting paid. So starting off, for somebody with no money to their name or even a negative balance, as in they have debt, what you need to be doing at this time is working as much as you possibly can to get you started on some sort of savings. What you have to be doing is showing that you're a good worker, which will allow you to negotiate either better pay or more favorable hours that will allow you to output more. And if you're not getting this through your current job or your current employment, you have to be looking for jobs that will allow this, or even self-employed opportunities like I did myself and I'll be going over in the future. Once you have this amount of savings, you're going to be using that to leverage and build your skills that allow you to be more marketable for a job, a higher paying job, or you can even use this to start your business that encompasses the three things that I mentioned earlier. At this time, you'll also have to be saving a lot of money, and honestly, the best tip I can give for you in order to become better at saving money is try and gamify it. There's a lot of apps right now that you can put your money into, and you can kind of think of it as a game where you should try and increase that number as you go, right? And this will help you early on to reduce your unnecessary expenses. Again, this is for somebody that really has, very little money. You need to be doing things like reducing your rent as much as possible if you have to move in back with family and they're not stopping you from hitting the goals that you want. That might have to be something you need to do. For your food, you had to have your go-to meals. The thing that you don't want to cheap out on at all is your health, right? So it's even at this time, later on, you don't want to cheap out on life experiences. But at this time, health is something that you have to keep, as one of the top priorities. But for this, this would mean you have some go-to meals that you're continuously making, or you have sometimes time is the bigger issue. So you have your kind of fast food meals that are still like on the cheaper, healthier side. For example, I know like people go to burger places and they just get the patties for the protein and the micronutrients. Other things are just clothes, right? You can get secondhand clothes that are still having you looking presentable, because that's a huge part. You're going to be outside most of the day. And then transportation is required. If your transit is not reliable, you must get a vehicle. There's a lot of opportunities, some of which I'll actually be going over, that need you to be places at a reliable time. And the best way for you to do that is have your own vehicle if transit is not the case for you. My experience with this is that I've always been working, so I've always had some sort of safety net since I was growing up. But what I did in order to increase my earning capacity is I kind of took the traditional route of simply getting a degree in a field that was in demand at the time and paid well. So what I did is I got a degree in computer engineering. But what kind of allowed me to continue building up my wealth while I was in university for this is that alongside my studies, I worked at a tech company, which allowed me to generate a lot of income, but at the same time, it helped me get through and sharpen my skills as a computer engineer, and it allowed me to get actual in person experience, which was very valuable. Another thing I did was I actually picked up a self employed opportunity in which I tutored. And this was really important because it hit the three things that I needed. I was good at tutoring. I was good at teaching because I myself knew the subject very well. And even though it didn't always come naturally to me, I was good. That allowed me to actually explain the contents a bit better. Second of all, I enjoy teaching other people. It's simply why I do these videos. Self improvement and just seeing progress in general is a huge passion of mine. And then, third of all, there was a huge demand, especially after we got out of the pandemic, that people wanted somebody to kind of guide them through on everything that they lost. So I would go through and teach a lot of math and physics, and it generated a lot of income for me while I was studying because the hours were very flexible, since they would occur the same time that I was done my school. So this allowed me to build my skills in a high-paying career, but at the same time, I was able to generate income and sharpen my skills through a self-employed opportunity and a career. In a later video, I want to explain how you can replicate the business model that I had, but the issue I had at this time is that I didn't know how to invest my money beyond just putting it into some education. So what I did is I went to YouTube to find financial information. There's a lot of good information on YouTube, but the issue is that what you see online is the mainstream YouTubers who want you to keep coming back to their channel. So what they do is they just keep talking about new stocks or news that's simply irrelevant to a long-term investing plan. And if you think about it, you shouldn't be focused on what to invest unless this is like the thing that you want to pursue. Because 90% of investors don't even beat the market. So why not you spend less time on actually investing the small amount of money you have and instead put more into building your earning potential or letting the rest grow passively? So what I suggest is you dollar cost average. It's a buzzword, you can search it up, but essentially you put all the money into a passive total world index fund. At the same time, you can also put it in a high interest savings fund and just funnel the money between the two. So the other thing you want to do is you want to max your tax advantage accounts. In Canada, that's like the TFSA. We even have the FHSA, and then you can look into the equivalent for your country. But what they are is they're tax advantage accounts, meaning your money can grow in them without having to pay tax on what you earned. So I'll take you guys to the computer and show you with the numbers how easy it is to accumulate wealth using this strategy.
All right, guys. So we're on the computer now, so I can show you the actual numbers of what I'm talking about and how powerful just saving, living slightly below your means, having a good income, and investing, how fast it can compound to get you a lot of financial freedom. A total world stock index fund, meaning this tries to track not just US stocks, but also foreign stocks. The reason I believe that this is a good investment and perhaps a better investment than just the S&P 500 is you get exposure to emerging markets as well, because we don't know if always it's going to be the US or the West or North America that's going to be leading the growth that's happening. The Canadian, though I think the S&P 500 is fine, the Canadian equivalent to this, just because I'm Canadian, so I'm more familiar on what I'm doing here, and it's very similar. These two is VEQT on the Toronto Stock Exchange. That's the first type of investment. Again, this is pretty passive. You'll just want to put your money in every so often. The other one here is PSA. It's a high interest savings ETF. Essentially, you will get 5%. This is 5% annually, but you'll get them in monthly installments from this from putting your money in, because they'll pool together the money from all the investors to get you this better 5% return. This would be better, I would say, for short term because, again, you don't know what's going to happen exactly. This is a bit more volatile, though I would say it's safe. It's a little bit more volatile, but here you're pretty consistently getting the dividend, the interest from that 5% that I'm talking about. I didn't fully look into a US equivalent, though this is what came up. But you can also look into, perhaps a bond or GIC. This would be something you should look into. I'm just giving you the framework on why I would say these two are good investments because they're quite reliable. They can net you quite a bit, which I'll show you right now. So let's say that every month you're working a bit more at the beginning, but then you start getting a higher paying job, so you're able to uh, work a bit less but put in that same amount. So let's say it's a consistent, 500 a month. So you get 8% because maybe you're not always putting in the 500 right away, and could be splitting it between the two. And we'll put 30 years, but we can look into a smaller time horizon. So if we look right here, it's a decent amount of money, though you do have to wait quite a bit. So I'll show you, the 10-year mark, what that looks like. And this is the interest that you've earned. So this is stuff that you actually haven't put in yourself. It's just growth that comes from it. If we look at the yearly table, in about 10 years, which I know is also a long time, but you have a decent amount, right? When I say decent amount, I mean relative to, this is completely relative to what you're putting into the calculator. I just want to show you the framework for what I'm proposing here. But what this allows you to do is, if you want to start a business, right, you can go a lot more risk on because you have this backing right here. Or let's just say you want to switch switch careers or go into and get more education, or just the feeling of being financially safe for a good amount of time. Just simply saving your money, investing it, being smart with it, can get you quite a bit further than a lot of other people. And when you have money, that can actually allow you to slingshot your way because you're able to live. You don't have to worry about working. You can actually take some of that time maybe off to start something new. All right, so this was quite a long video because it did take you through, the journey of starting from nothing, but I wanted to give a quick recap. So, initially, if you have no money or you have debt, you need to be working as much as you possibly can, whether that's extra hours or another job to get some sort of savings. Because once you have that saving, you can use it and you can put money towards earning new skills that allow you to actually make more money from your job or a new job, or you can get self employed opportunities, both of which I discussed how I did those. So, after you've kind of put all the money you can towards earning an education and earning skills that'll make you more desirable in either the job market or having your own business, you don't want to be leaving that money, in your account, and you definitely don't want to be putting it into speculative investments. What you want to do instead, in my opinion, investing into index funds, because that allows you to put more time into actually earning the money. And as you saw through that calculator, it can actually net you a very high amount of savings, which you can use, as an emergency fund. And it allows you to kind of live life more risk on, and allow you to spend your money on life experiences like traveling, which I think is very important. So, if you found any benefit from this video, I'd really appreciate putting a comment down below, telling me what I can improve on. And other than that, take care, guys.